Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you clicking on that video as always. And we are back with another weekly wears video. What I wore every day last week, all 7 days. If this is your first time finding the channel, my name is Gerard, and on this channel we talk about all things fragrance. We do lists, we do weekly wears, we do rack store hunts. We pretty much do it all. So if you like content like this, please be sure to subscribe. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So on Sunday, I went with a fragrance that I just recently picked up on one of my more recent rack store hauls. Got it for a fantastic price from Saks off Fifth, which if you guys aren't familiar with, it's a spinoff of Saks Fifth Avenue. It's sort of their discount rack store affiliate. And from time to time, you can find some really great fragrances either online or in store for a really great price. And they typically do have clearance on top of clearances. And that's what happened here. This was actually a red sticker and it was marked down for a second time. Scent I'm talking about is Chopard's Rose Malaki. I'm really enjoying this scent. It is really unique in a lot of ways. And I do pick up the rose, I pick up amber, it's woody, it's earthy. I almost pick up a nuttiness to this, which again adds to that uniqueness of the fragrance. It's just really well done. For me, this is a unisex fragrance. However, I think it does lean a bit more masculine because of all the woods, because of that amber sort of depth it has. I think it would suit a male just as well as a female, but more suited towards the men than the ladies. That's just one person's opinion. Don't hold me to that. Get your nose on it and smell it for yourself. I got pretty good performance the day I wore it. For me, this is probably gonna be a better fit in the fall, in the winter. However, we have been getting some cooler temperatures here in New England, and I wanted to wear it because when I first tried the scent, and you can see my reaction on the video, I'll be sure to link it here. I loved it, so I couldn't wait to wear it. I wore it on Sunday. Chopard's Rose Malaki. On Monday, I had a meeting on a potential business deal, and I wanted to wear something classy, put together, gentlemanly, masculine, and just an overall fantastic scent. What I ended up going with is Zaharoff's signature Parfums. If you guys have not tried the House of Zaharoff, you really should. You can go on their website and actually grab a discovery set, and I believe this one is included in that. This is my personal favorite from the house. George Zaharoff, he is the owner of Zaharoff, and he is incredible. He is very in tune with the fragrance community, understands what it is that we're doing, the things we like, the things we enjoy, and he's in tune with that. And he's a fan himself. So really great guy. And George, if you're watching, we appreciate it. So, but with this fragrance, what do I get? It's very masculine. It's tough to sort of compare it to anything else. There is lavender, it's aromatic, it comes across as gentlemanly. If I had to compare it to anything, I would say it's in the vein of something like a Dracar Noir, which is obviously an 80s powerhouse and still to this day a popular fragrance, a highly sold fragrance. However, this is a much more luxurious, satisfying take on that fragrance. This is clean, masculine, beautiful. Smoky, woody, sweet. It does everything just right, and it's one of my favorite scents of my entire collection. I quite enjoy this one. My wife likes this one on me. When I am in a sort of business mode and I need to get some work done, or I have meetings or appointments or whatever the case may be, this is typically one of the first things I think to grab. It just fits that. This is a signature scent in my opinion, so the signature in the name is fitting. Really will work in any situation. You're going to smell great, and it just kicks up the luxury up a notch. And I also love the bottle. I think the bottle's really cool. In most cases, you're going to get all day performance from this. It's gonna project really nicely, and it lasts a long time. I love this stuff. Zaharoff signature Parfums. So on Tuesday, I went with a fragrance, probably my least favorite from the fragrances that I own from this particular house. With that being said, I still really like this. This is almost a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. Scent I am talking about is Varvatos Crimson. Now, this is Varvatos' collaboration with Nick Jonas. And if, you may not be a fan of Nick Jonas, I think that's irrelevant when you're smelling a fragrance. It shouldn't matter who, unless they're a complete piece of shit. to, and you don't want to support them, that would be something different. But if you're just not a fan of Nick Jonas because of you don't like his music or his acting, which, by the way, if you've seen the show Kingdom, I totally recommend that show. Incredible show. He's actually in it. And if you watch that show from start to finish, I think he might surprise you from an acting standpoint. I was surprised. But I digress. This gets compared to Polo Red, and I do get the similarities. This is powdery, it's fruity, it's a dark fruitiness up top. Think red berry, and very juicy and sweet. It is a pleasant smell. Don't get me wrong when I say this is my least favorite from the ones I own. It's not as original to me as some of the other John Varvatos fragrances. A lot of the John Varvatos are very original, and this, again, obviously gets compared to Polo Red. I do see the similarities. I've smelled this type of fragrance before, so it loses a couple points in that department for me. However, in terms of smell and quality, it's a great scent. And I think for what you pay for this, I was lucky enough to find this in a Marshall's pretty cheap. You will not be disappointed. It's a solid fragrance. I like it quite a bit, and my wife likes this one quite a bit. Performance, like many John Varvatos's, is not the best. So you're only going to get maybe 5 or 6 hours from it. It's cheap. You can spray heavy and keep your eyes peeled because this may pop up at rack stores. It's better than the other Nick Jonas collaborations with John Varvatos. I think this is the best from, I believe, that the 3 that came out. John Varvatos Crimson. So on Wednesday, I went with a scent that is really become sort of a new addiction. For me, I love smelling it. I think it smells fantastic. It's one of my favorite new releases of 2022. The scent I am talking about is Ralph's Club Parfum from Ralph Lauren. This stuff is fantastic, and if you have not smelled it yet, I suggest you do. Oh man, just really clean, aromatic, sweet and fresh. And really fresh, just really elevated a couple notches from fragrances like the original, for one. I think this is far better than the original. And Acqua di Gio Absolu and Rasasi Hawass on the cheaper end of the spectrum, Abercrombie & Fitch's First Instinct together. It's in that vein, Invictus type fragrance, but hear me out. I think this is for the matured person who likes that DNA. It's not quite as playful. I think this is less casual, although this can be worn casually. It's a bit less casual than all those fragrances mentioned. It just steps it up a bit, as I said, in the quality department, in the just overall sense that you're getting a higher quality fragrance. I highly suggest you get your nose on this one, especially if you're a fan of the original. I know some people are gonna stand by the original, but this one is just better in my opinion. I wasn't a huge fan of the OG. This one really surprised me, and the first time I smelled it, knew I needed a full bottle of it. I actually did a first impressions video of this, and within a couple days, went to my local Macy's and grabbed myself a 50 ml great scent Ralph's Club Parfum. So if you guys saw my last video, you saw me talk a bit about this one, and I promised myself I was gonna wear this quite a bit this fall, and this made my list for 3 fragrances for the fall under $100. This one is a must smell in my opinion. Maybe not a must own, because I don't like to say you must own a fragrance, but definitely a must try. Scent I am talking about is John Varvatos Vintage. This scent has a lot of complexity. It has this sort of sweet, bitter, earthy punch to it, dark fruit up top. As I said in that other video, walks a line of designer and niche. This is super unique and really addictive. Signature scent worthy type stuff. This is, to me, fall in a bottle. It just reminds me of the fall time. Cooler temperatures, leaves changing, football, hanging out with friends, hoodie weather. This checks all of the above, and I love this one. I didn't give this one the proper shot when I first tried it, and I wish I had, and I wish I had added this to the collection sooner. As you guys know, if you watch my videos, I am a massive fan of the house of John Varvatos. I think they offer a ton of value for what you pay. I think the juice is really high quality, although their presentation is pretty, straightforward and similar style bottles. That's not that important to me. What's important is the juice inside, and Anybody who tries this fragrance ends up liking it. That's just my experience with it. This one deserves even more love than it gets, in my opinion. And I know a couple of you guys mentioned that in the comments section of my last video, and I completely agree. John Varvatos Vintage. As far as best rack store pickups over the last year, and definitely since I've started the channel, this is probably at close to the top. And it's an older fragrance. This one came out, I believe, in 1999, and today it's still fantastic. Really, in my opinion, a modern day masterpiece. It's that damn good. I love this one. Doesn't get a ton of love or talked about. Scent I'm talking about is Carolina Herrera's 212 Men. This is just one of those fragrances that you can't seem to get quite enough of, and it's so satisfying on so many levels. Really great atomizer, magnetic top, but it's citrusy, it's super green, it's a bit warm and ambery. It is aromatic, there's lavender, and it's fresh. And it just smells like you just got out of the shower, but you don't smell like a blue fragrance, if that makes any sense. Like you used a really high quality bar of soap. I just love it. This thing draws a lot of positive attention. If you're wearing this and you're getting close to someone, they're probably going to say you smell fantastic, because it's just one of those fragrances that I can't imagine anyone not liking this. It gets creamy, and again, that warmth sort of carries through the fragrance. It's not a cool or cold fragrance. It's a clean smelling, warm fragrance. There's sandalwood in this that adds to that creaminess and the woodiness and the dry down. It's a bit powdery and super satisfying. In terms of longevity, I get exactly what I would expect from this. Is basically a full day's worth of work, and that's ideal. This is a perfect daytime scent, perfect signature scent, really. And this is going to work in every season, no matter where you live, whatever the case may be, the weather. This is going to work. It's incredible. 212 from Carolina Herrera for men. Finally, on Saturday, I went with one of my most complimented fragrances, the most compliments I've ever received in one day. And I don't want to make this about compliments, because I don't think that is why you should buy a fragrance. I really don't. Compliments are great. Garnering positive attention from other people. I would be lying if I said I didn't appreciate it. I think most of us can appreciate receiving nice things, nice words from other people, especially with how we smell. But not only does this garner positive attention from others, but I love smelling this one on myself. And it's just absolutely incredible. It's the best from the house, in my opinion, which might be a bold statement, because this is a highly talked about house and they get a ton of attention, especially from YouTubers. YouTubers constantly talking about the line of fragrances, what they offer from this house. But the scent I'm talking about today is Parfums de Marly's Sedley. Now, my only regret with purchasing this is that I didn't get the bigger bottle. Great atomizer. And one of the reasons in the air, it smells like almost like a Sprite. It has this effervescence to it, this sweetness, citrusy punch that's just beautiful. It's aromatic. It's a little bit spicy. It is creamy. I love this stuff. It's unique in the sense that I can't think it does have ambroxan in it, so it does come across as a blue fragrance, but it's more than that. It's lighter, it's more aromatic. Again, it's more effervescent and more citrusy than most blue fragrances that I've tried. So with that being said, I don't think it's your typical blue fragrance. It's woody in the dry down. The reason, as I said, I like this a bit more than others in the line is because of its uniqueness, because Parfums de Marly is a house that can sometimes be criticized for having fragrances that smell like other less expensive fragrances, but putting their sort of own twist on it, maybe making them a little more high quality. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. For me, this one being its own unique scent in their line, and I'm sure people will disagree with me with this being the best in the house, but for me, for my tastes and for what I like, and there are others that I really enjoy from the house as well. So I'll talk about those. It's more about for me, it's more their cooler weather fragrances that they have in their line. But this one, for now, Year-round scent, again, signature worthy, hot weather, cold weather, office, going out. This does it all. My only regret, not buying the bigger bottle. Fantastic performance. I smell this for days on clothes. I know some formulations of this, they were, I guess it had really good performance, and then it got bad, and then people complained, and then it got good performance again. I don't know exactly what batch I have. I can try to look it up and see what year this was made, but incredible performance if that's important to you. And I love this one. Wore it on Saturday. Parfums de Marly's Sedley. That's all I have today, guys. As always, let me know in the comment section below what your weekly rotation was. What fragrances did you wear? Was it 1? Was it 10? Let me know. I'm curious to know what you guys are wearing. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, hit that bell notification so you're updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.